Do you guys ever feel like chasing after the biggest cards, like the SIRs, the biggest, most rarest, most expensive Pokemon cards is becoming kind of overwhelming and you feel like you're stressing out about it, you feel like you're missing out? Well, if that's the case, today's video is for you. For any of you collectors out there that feel like you're missing out, that you're struggling to keep up, watch this video and hopefully it'll help you to kind of put things into perspective. What up? Welcome back to Pokeching. I hope you guys are all doing well. In today's video, I don't really know how I'm going to be going about this topic. I haven't scripted anything. I've decided that I just wanted to talk about things naturally, have a discussion with you guys. I don't know if there's going to be much in terms of visuals on the screen, so if you just want to listen to this video while you're doing something else and put it on in the background, you could probably do so. So what I really wanted to talk about is this feeling that we have today with, the rarity of the chase cards and so on in modern Pokemon, because it seems like things have gotten just more and more difficult to pull. There are more and more chase cards. Well, it depends on which sets, of course, but take Ascended Heroes, for example. If you want to pull the card you want, which is probably going to be the Pikachu, the Gengar, the Mewtwo, the Dragonite, well, you have a ton of other SIR cards that you need to sift through to actually get those cards. So you actually have to get pretty lucky to hit a specific SIR, and it is pretty overwhelming. And then we do have smaller sets, and that's going to be another video I'm going to make actually, why smaller sets are better. I'm not going to talk about it in today's video, but there are smaller sets where hitting your preferred chase card is a little bit easier, but still pretty difficult with the pull rates. So what I wanted to talk about a little bit is going back to base set. So I don't know if any of you were here for that, if you were around, if you're kids back in the day collecting Pokemon cards like I was, but I'm sure there are some of you that are in that boat. And so when we look at base set here, we have, the holo cards, we have the rare cards, we have the uncommons, and then we have the commons. And it doesn't go any further than that. It isn't any more complicated than that. It's very, very simple. There are 4 rarities. You get, I think, 7 commons or 6 commons per pack, 3 uncommons, and a rare or holo. And the holo would be 1 in every 3 packs. So it really wasn't hard to pull a holo card. You could open a booster box and complete most of the set. If you bought 2 booster boxes, you were pretty sure that you were going to complete the set. You had a very good chance at that. So things have changed. Now you open 2 booster boxes, you don't even know if you're going to pull 1 SIR, which are mostly the chase cards today. So when we're looking at that and we're looking at how much we appreciated these cards, even though they weren't rare, objectively, they were not rare. They were very, very easy to pull. You got 36 packs in a box, 1 in 3 packs had a holo, you had 12 holos in each booster box on average, and we only have 15 in the set, and the Machamp was a guaranteed holo in the starter sets, for those of you who do remember that. You had to buy the starter set to get the first edition Machamp, and it was a first edition shadow border one. You could get a shadowless one as well, but even the regular one with a shadow, the unlimited one, had a first edition stamp. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. All I'm saying is that we appreciated cards that were very, very simple and very easy to pull compared to today. And now we've gotten caught up in this thing where basically, if we don't get the highest rarity, the highest tier, we feel like we've completely failed our opening. We feel like we've wasted our money. And I think we've lost touch with what really matters when we're collecting cards and opening packs. And I want to take a look at 151 as well, which is probably going to speak to a lot of people. That's why I picked this set. You do get your commons and commons, your holos. You get a holo in every pack, I'm pretty sure. In Japanese, which is why I open the most, you don't get a holo in every pack, but in English I'm pretty sure you do. Anyway, the holos are very easy to pull. People just kind of look over them, they don't really care, they just kind of they're not worth anything, so people don't care. Yet, if we look at the cards and the artworks on some of the holos, so we have the Moltres here, we have the Articuno, we have the Aerodactyl, which is one of my favorites. I mean, the artwork is pretty badass. We got a Shinji Kanda Aerodactyl with a volcano erupting in the background there. It looks pretty awesome. Now, I do understand, and I do agree that the depth of these holos is not quite the same. I think the holo border kind of takes away from it, whereas when it used to be just a holo frame, it kind of drew you into the image of the card, like the actual artwork, and the border kind of distracts from that in some way. And the fact that the card stock isn't entirely the same, and often you get holo bleed throughout the entire card. So basically, if you have good lighting, the entire card is holofoil, like even the text area, even the Pokemon, whereas before it was very distinct. The Pokemon was not holo at all, except a few exceptions where there was a holo bleed error, but basically there was no holo shining through on the borders or the rest of the card or the Pokemon, and that really drew you into the artwork. So that, I will admit, has changed, and I do think that's one of the biggest reasons why holos don't feel the same today. That's how I feel about it anyway. But the artworks are pretty cool, and you can enjoy simple holofoil cards. It's just that now we have SIRs, and so when you pull this, you're like, but it's not hard to pull. I don't care, I don't want that, I want the SIR. But the thing is, back in the day, the holos, they were probably there's not much difference in rarity. Yeah, you're guaranteed a holo per pack. I'd have to look at how many holos there are in 151, but there might be even more than in the base set. And I'm just going to look at that real quick before I get back into the video. So I just counted, there are 25 regular holos in 151, so actually pulling any specific one is probably going to be close enough to pulling a specific holo from base set. But yeah, I do understand that they don't have the same vibe, and obviously base set is older, and I'm not talking about the value and the rarity and how old base set is. I'm just trying to get things and put things into perspective for those of you who feel like some of the cards that you're pulling aren't special. Don't let everyone else, that are showing you all the, oh look, I just pulled the Charizard SIR, the Venusaur, whatever it may be from whatever set may be popular at the moment, but don't let other people make you feel like what you have isn't special just because it's not as rare, it's not as expensive. And I want to look at the illustration rares, which to me are kind of like, even though they're much harder to pull than a regular holo from base set, jungle, fossil, they are kind of what seem to be the holofoil equivalent today. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting anyway, and that's how I feel about it. It's like, these feel like, equivalents of like a holofoil back in the day in terms of like rarity. But you only get one in every like 9 packs, roughly. I can't remember what the pull rates are for 151, but most of the time, in most sets, you get 3 illustration rares per booster box, or 4 maybe if you're lucky. So that's 1 in 12 packs. 1 in 9, 1 in 12 packs. So they are much rarer to pull than any holos that you would open up in base set back in the day. Yet, even illustration rares, now 151 is maybe not the best example of that because Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Charmander, all these starters, Pikachu, Mewtwo, all that, they're very popular Pokemon. So that aside, most people when they pull an illustration rare, it's not a big deal, it's nothing special, it's kind of like, oh yeah, it's cool, but it's not the SIR. And even if you do pull some illustration rares, a lot of people feel like it's just not enough. And that's kind of why I'm making this video, is that I feel like it's really a shame that people feel that way when you have cards that are this beautiful in terms of artwork. When you've got a full art card, insane artwork. I mean, most illustration rares are absolutely beautiful, even if the art style isn't necessarily for everyone. There's a solid effort that's been made, and the cards do look really amazing. They really pop. And yeah, I don't know, I just feel like they're special and underappreciated, and I feel like illustration rares are kind of like what you should aim for when you're opening packs, when you're trying to chase a card. I feel like the realistic chase is illustration rares, and if you get an SIR, that's awesome, that's amazing, you got really lucky. And I know the pull rates on SIRs were a bit easier in 151, I think it was 1 in 30 odd packs to get one. So it wasn't as hard as it is today with the 1 in 80 plus pull ratio for most of the recent sets from the Mega era, but they're still pretty hard to pull. And I think when you pull these, it should be kind of like, special. Like I said, I mean, they're called special illustration rares. So when you pull one, it should be something special. It should feel special. You're not meant to have a collection with a ton of special illustration rares. I feel like most people feel like they need to have a bunch of these to have a legitimate collection, but you don't really need to have many. You can only have like a few that you really like, and if it means a lot to you, then that's cool. But yeah, I feel like special illustration rares are kind of like an unrealistic chase for most people, especially with the current prices. But illustration rares, I feel, are more obtainable. They're easily obtainable compared to the special illustration rare counterparts. But yeah, and I just don't feel like they're that appreciated. So I'm looking at 151 here, but we can go take a look at another set and just show you examples of cards that people probably don't care that much about, and it reflects in the value of the cards. Let's just take Phantasmal Flames, for example. Go down to the illustration rares. I mean, granted, they're not all the most popular Pokemon, but I mean, you know, you got this Flygon here. Flygon's such a cool Pokemon. Look at that artwork. That is a stunning card. It's $5, guys. Like, I mean, you can really enjoy the hobby and chase after like some really cool Pokemon, and they're not that hard to get. Look, all of these are so cheap. Okay, Piplup is probably the most expensive one, with Meowth. Look at that. Beautiful card, popular Pokemon. Anyone that played Gen 4 loves Piplup, probably. We have, you know, Meowth with, I think it's Cerulean City here, just up above. I mean, such a nice card, and okay, this one's a bit more expensive, but it's still obtainable. We've got this Toxtricity here. You know, we've got this beautiful Dugong. It's under $6. So that's Phantasmal Flames. We have, I mean, you can look at other sets as well that a lot of people would want to open. Let's just say Ascended Heroes is very expensive, but they do have a ton of illustration rares that are really nice. Let's take a look. And I'm sorry, yeah, this video is a bit different. It's not as structured as most are. It's more of a discussion, just kind of chilling out with you guys talking about this, trying to get my point across and hopefully helping some of you that feel like you're missing out because you're not pulling the biggest, most expensive chase cards. Did my seat go down? I feel like my seat just kind of gradually went down. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. I just felt really low there for a second. But yeah, here we have Erika's Tangela here. Beautiful card. And there are a lot of illustration rares here, so pulling a specific one is going to be a bit more difficult, especially with the price of packs, but you can buy these as singles, guys. So we have Erika's Tangela, which is a really, really nice one. Beautiful artwork there. Pretty popular trainer from Gen 1. We've got Ethan, pretty popular trainer as well, with his Magcargo there. Pretty nice card, nice artwork. You know, even this Numel here, I mean, it's basic Pokemon. I don't know if there's like a huge fan base around Numel, but I mean, look at the artwork, man. It's such a beautiful card. And I just feel like these are so underappreciated. And when you see the price, and it's a good thing that they're cheap, by the way. This is awesome that they're cheap, because it means you can enjoy them much more easily. Even Score Bunny here, look. What a nice card. Such a nice one there. We have this Marill, we have, you know, we got Hops Trevenant, we have these, like this Team Rocket's Mimikyu here. Guys, I mean, these cards are special to me. They have such beautiful artworks, and I feel like you need to see these as kind of really top tier cards, rather than only putting emphasis on special illustration rares once again. So I hope that kind of got my point across. These cards here, they are beautiful, they have texture and so on, and often, you know, they're given, the biggest Pokemon are given SIRs rather than illustration rares, but there have been a few cases where, you know, we've gotten some nice Pokemon as illustration rares. We got the Mewtwo in 151, we have the Articuno in Journey Together, we have, you know, we have some, I think it's Paradox Rift where there's a Groudon as well. So we do, every now and then, get a really, really cool Pokemon. We have a Tyranitar as well. So here's the Groudon here. Beautiful card, Paradox Rift. I mean, that's awesome. The artwork, it's expensive. It wasn't this expensive to begin with. I mean, you could have bought this like really cheap back in the day. Let's see, well, I guess since the hype has been high, it's always been high, but if I could look further than a year, this card wasn't nearly as expensive as it is now. And then we do have, I think it's Temporal Forces, where there's a Tyranitar, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it is. Temporal Forces. Let's take a look. Trying to get to the bottom there. Tyranitar? No? Yes? No? Nope, wrong set. Okay, we do have this though. Have this amazing Ghastly with Gengar and Haunter and everything kind of marching through the street with a little Meowth there. Kind of peeking behind a, I don't know if it's like a sign there or something. Just kind of peeking, and Ghastly saw him, so they're kind of like making eye contact there. But really incredible card. You know, we do have some really cool Pokemon as illustration rares, and not enough people are realizing how special these cards are. Let me try to find that Tyranitar. Ah, I found him. So he's in Paldea Evolved. So here he is, beastly, looks huge. He looks like a titan there. The pose is awesome. The artwork is beautiful, like really nice colors in the background, like a sunset behind him. I mean, in terms of artwork, it doesn't get much better than that for the Tyranitar. So really beautiful card. And in Paldea Evolved, you know, I'm not a fan of the set really, but there are some really nice cards. We do have this beautiful Heracross. Look at the colors in that. And Heracross is a Pokemon that a lot of people used in their teams in Gold and Silver. You know, it's very nostalgic Pokemon, really high attack. Mega Horn, it was a devastating attack. I remember using that all the time. I say I remember, but I still use it to this day. I still play these games. But yeah, beautiful Pokemon, beautiful colors. You know, we have the Magikarp, of course, which blew up very quickly. We have the Gyarados up in the background there. Magikarp kind of making his way up the mountain to turn into Gyarados. And what's really cool with this card is it shows a story. I think it's to do with the mythology. If the Koi Carp manages to go back up the mountain to where it was born or something, back up the stream, it would turn into a dragon. I think that's what it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of like the idea behind Magikarp and Gyarados, is that the road is long, but the reward is absolutely amazing. And yeah, you know, it just kind of shows like Magikarp looking at his destiny there, which is to turn into a Gyarados. But yeah, really cool card. Who knew a Magikarp could do so well? Raichu, very popular. Look at that. Beautiful artwork. And yeah, so Paldea Evolved has some pretty cool cards. And so, you know, most people would say, and I'm guilty of this, I'd go straight to the SIRs, not even the gold cards, because I don't care about those. I'd go straight to the SIRs and I'd be like, well, there's nothing really that, like, I care about. I mean, I don't care about these gen starters. These legendaries don't really mean anything to me. Yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't do anything for me. But then, if I go to the illustration rares, and this is a mistake I made as well, that's why I'm making this video, is we have Tyranitar, absolutely amazing. We have Sudowoodo, I love Sudowoodo. Raichu, love Raichu. We've got Magikarp, Marill, you know, Heracross. There are so many cards that are illustration rares that I didn't even look at that are technically cards that I would chase after. So I'm going to end this video on that because I feel like I'm going to repeat myself if I continue any longer, but chase after the illustration rares, guys. Don't go chasing after special illustration rares. If you pull a special illustration rare, first of all, consider yourself lucky, because you are lucky if you pull one. And if it's the one you wanted, awesome. That's a miracle, man. You just hit the jackpot, and it will happen every now and then, but it's not meant to happen every time. So don't let, you know, YouTubers that can buy hundreds or thousands of packs kind of distort what you think you should be doing. It's like, it's not realistic. It's not realistic for most people to be able to open that amount of packs, to throw that much money at Pokemon cards to try and hit their chase card, and even sometimes they don't hit them. So guys, if you're just a normal person that doesn't have a ton of money to throw at this stuff, chase after illustration rares. Enjoy the holofoils. Enjoy the commons and the uncommons that have some really beautiful artworks, and just try to have fun enjoying the simplicity of the artwork. And something that I'm going to make another video on is how you should enjoy opening Pokemon cards to actually create memories. So I'll be honest, I open a lot of Pokemon cards right here, right in this room, and it's different from when I was a kid. You know, I'd open up cards out and about, different places, sometimes in the car, sometimes it'd be a restaurant, sometimes in the store where it was purchased. And those memories were a lot stronger because something was happening around when I opened those packs, right? There was like something that we were doing that day, and when I look at that card, I think about that. Whereas now, I open everything in the same place, and so everything kind of like merges together and doesn't feel special or as special. So that's going to be a subject of another video at some point. But guys, this chair is definitely going down. I swear, I just pulled it back up. Good to know. I'll have to remember that for my future videos. But yeah, guys, chase after the illustration rares, enjoy the holos, enjoy the commons and uncommons. If you pull an SIR, awesome. You got lucky. But don't expect it. Get your expectations in check. Remember the rarity of base set, jungle, fossil, all those sets. The cards weren't that rare. They really weren't. They were easy to get. If you could buy 2 booster boxes, you were done. Pretty much had everything you wanted. And things are much more difficult, much more different now. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was a longer one, but I want to take my time to talk about things the way I want to talk about them and not speed through just whatever topic I want to talk about. So hope you enjoyed it. If you did like this video, don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment down below letting me know what you think about all this. How do you manage to kind of deal with what I was talking about in this video? So appreciating the simplicity of maybe less rare cards, or trying to resist chasing after most expensive cards. Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you do want to see future videos. I have a ton of things I want to talk about. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, take care, peace out, bye!